Alright, let's just get started, shall we?
How's my foot?
Foot looks good.
Okay.
My feet are going to be in here for sure. I'm just going to tuck them under my legs.
It's a nice foot and a nice band.
Thank you. I don't know how it started getting ripped. Like, why there? It's so weird.
That's interesting.
Parkouring too much?
I guess.
Probably.
Just aggressive walking.
Aggressive pogo sticking.
Pogo sticking. This is my sound check. What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Danna-Gift Show. I have with me the amazing, the talented, the fucking serial entrepreneur that I just am learning about all of his businesses, Clounch. We're going to be talking about AI shit. So we're getting in there. And then, of course, you guys know this guy. If you don't know him, you probably have seen him on my channel at some point. This is Dylan Porter. And yeah, we're just going to dive right in.
I guess. That was started very quickly.
Yeah.
Just from nothing to boom, we're going. Like, let's do this. Music starts, I'm like, are we starting?
That's the best way.
Yeah. Let's just get straight to it.
Intros are kind of out. I mean, I've noticed that on just social media. I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't start right away with what people want to hear, they click away.
Yeah.
So don't click away. We're getting right in.
We're getting right in. We're already in. So let's fucking
good.
talk AI. First
do
of
it.
all, when did you start AI Surfer? It's his website, by the way. Or his.
2.5 months ago.
So it's a baby. And it's grown.
Yeah.
Crazy
like,
amounts
Like
already.
2.5 months combined followers, around 65,000.
65,000?
Mhm.
How much people are in your master course?
Right
this?
now, 500.
Holy shit.
Are you kidding me?
How is
Yeah.
your community? Do you run it through Facebook or
Telegram.
Telegram? Oh my god.
Which is actually really cool. This whole thing has come together like at warp speed. Like honestly, like in the last 2 months, I've never posted videos before like this, so it was a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
But also, I've had so many people reach out to me in terms of trying to help figure out how they can be a part of it, and so I've kind of leaned into that, and I've trusted some people, and I have a developer in Russia now.
Wow.
In Moscow, and I'm letting him, like, he's a master at Telegram, and we're about to release some things to the community that are amazing, like
Really?
AI inside of Telegram, like the ability to have karma points when people engage. I can reward them for engaging.
What?
Yeah, it's about to get wild.
No way.
I
We're
just
really
re-downloaded
gamifying
Telegram.
the community.
Yeah, we're releasing it today.
Wow.
Yeah, right when I get done with this.
Let's
Damn.
go.
It's new. So many people
Yeah.
are interested in AI. I mean, I have dove into it on a very minimal scale.
Yep.
But I mean, we've all kind of been watching AI stuff for a long time, but never
Yeah.
thought it would be here.
Were you always interested and then all of a sudden you just pulled the trigger? Or
Dude,
did
no.
you realize how fast it was developing and needed to get into it?
I was very quick to download ChatGPT when it
Mhm.
came out in December.
Mhm.
And my first experience with it blew my mind.
Really?
Absolutely blew my mind. Like, totally, my mind was bent. And I never have been the same, honestly, from that experience. And I knew, because I've been in software forever. Like 10, 15 years, I don't know, 12 years probably I've been in software now. And I knew that this was going to change everything that I knew almost overnight.
Damn.
Yeah. And I have a team of developers, software engineers. I mean, everything changed from that moment. So I was like, I either got to jump on board and start learning this like ASAP, because this is the future.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't, my whole team, everything that I've ever built in the last 10 years might be irrelevant.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weight to take on immediately.
It's like a survival move.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
kind of was. It was survival. But I jumped in because it was fascinating to me. And now, over the last 2 months, I mean, just seeing everything that it can do is insane. Every day, my mind is blown. Like, every day, there's something new that I'm like, oh my.
And
Where's
it's
this going?
happening so quick. I feel like it just started with ChatGPT, and then all of a sudden, you got your own AI character that I saw.
Oh
on
yeah,
your
I've cloned myself.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. The clone is a little creepy.
So creepy. I'll be
Do
the
you
first
ever-
to admit.
I have not seen that. We'll have to clip that
Oh
into
yeah,
this.
Yes.
yeah. Have you? Oh, here, I'm gonna pull. it
Yeah,
up
I
because-
basically, first of my steps were, I took a picture of myself and then on Midjourney you can create an AI image of yourself with
Yeah.
your features. But I said I wanted to make a guy that's way better at surfing than me, like, you know, super chill, surfer hair,
Okay.
and it did it, and then I cloned my voice, and then I animated it.
No way.
I mean, come on,
Let's
look
see.
at this.
3 of the experiment, I cloned my face using Midjourney. On day 4, I cloned my voice using 11 Labs, and now I'm bringing my AI clone to life with DID. This is all part of a
Look
30-day
at-
experiment called GPT Genie.
Isn't that
That's right,
insane?
I'm the new AI surfer. Embrace the future of content creation. You know this is going to get better. Step 1.
I'm.
D-ID.com.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It is
That's
creepy, but
wild.
it's cool, and I feel like it's just gonna keep getting better.
It's getting better, and the crazy thing about that is how easy and quick I was able to do it.
How long did it take you to do that?
Hours, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, maybe an hour or two, but that's combined over a few days because I did it in steps.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did Midjourney first, and then I used 11 Labs, and I cloned my own voice, which I just uploaded 5 minutes of me speaking randomly about high school. I was like trying to just jibber jabber, like what am I going to talk about? I went
Wait,
through all my
there-
high school experience.
There's no prompt or something. You just have to.
I mean,
talk.
there probably is, but I just was
Okay.
like quick. I was like, what can I do? Like, all right, let's go through high school.
That's hilarious.
So I
What an
uploaded
option.
it, and then
Yeah.
and then it cloned my voice, and then I used this company called DID, and it made the animation come to life with my voice.
That's insane. And right
Yeah.
now you're doing something to make a Snoop Dogg. I just saw your most recent post, a Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
rap for your
Uh-huh.
community.
Uh huh.
Okay, elaborate. We need to hear about this.
Well, this is a work in progress too. You know, it's funny. I posted this yesterday that I was going to create a 100% AI-driven ad,
Mhm.
and I had Auto GPT, which we should talk about that. Auto
Yes,
GPT.
I definitely want to.
I had that go out, and I was like, all right, I want to write an advertisement for my community to get people that are interested in AI in the community. So become a sales expert, go out there, write the story, but put it in the style of Snoop Dogg, and make sure it's in its own cadence, you know, his own rhythm, everything. So it went out there, it searched everything, it said, hey, I found Gin and Juice. I like this song.
God.
We're going to do the beats per minute at 90. It's going to be the key of G minor. And here's the lyrics. It's a sales letter written in a rap.
Stop.
Yeah. So
That's
the crazy
crazy.
thing now is I posted that yesterday, and I'm like, all right, well, here's the steps I got to do. I'm going to do an AI-driven beat. I'm gonna rap it myself, and then I'm gonna clone my voice into Snoop Dogg's voice, and then I'm gonna create a music video all with AI tools, and then I posted it, and then like my community went a little wild, and then I was thinking like, oh shit, like I don't even know how to do this yet.
You're like, I just released
That's
it.
great though, because that puts you up your back up against the
Yeah,
wall.
but what's
Yeah.
really
You have to
cool
learn it.
is I gave the community a mini project because I was like, hey, I'm creating an advertisement and I want to feature all of you guys. So go out there, get on Midjourney, create an AI image of yourself,
Yeah.
submit it to me, and I'll put it in the advertisement as well. And my feed is
Oh, that
blowing
is
up now
brilliant.
of people that are like
Submitting
their
AIs.
AI version. So in the video will be of all my community.
What the
That is brilliant, dude.
Yeah.
is absolutely brilliant.
That's brilliant.
That's
So,
crazy.
what are all the ways in which you're monetizing AI Surfer?
To be honest, I'm not right now.
You're
Like
not,
I'm
you're
not
building.
worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that's the best place to be.
Yeah.
like I just want to, I mean, it's a passion thing right now, and it's so intriguing to me, and while I'm learning about it, I decided why not share it with the world. And through that experience, it lit on fire, man.
Wow.
And now people are texting me like, yo, I have like I'm dyslexic, or I have a version of autism, and this is like helping me become like competitive in the workplace,
Wow.
which is insane.
That's
Never
so
thought of
beautiful.
stuff like that.
Oh, me neither. Okay, so now we're touching on jobs and job security and placement, because I feel like a lot of people are concerned about AI replacing a lot of the jobs out there because of it could take over, you know, content creators. It could take over copywriting. It could take over a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
But that's one example of how it actually enhances someone's
Yeah.
job performance.
You know, the way that I see about that, and also just real quick on the monetization part, like, eventually, obviously I will. I mean, it's got this, because I want to be able to hire people and have experts in certain fields, and obviously that takes money to do that. So I'm going to do that is if it brings enough value to everybody. Like, that's my main thing. I'm not in it to just make the dime or try to figure out ways. Like, I really do want to grow like a massive community in this space, and like have people help each other and learn, because I'm learning too.
Yeah.
Like, in that community, people are posting all the time about things that I'm like, dude, what is that? Or like, you know, they're private messaging me like, hey, I didn't want to put this in the group because I want you to do it first. And I'm like, man, thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, that's so cool. So I want to keep that vibe about everything. So like the main community is always going to be free. Like, I've decided to make that always free.
Wow.
But back to your question in terms of like jobs, like I've positioned myself to take on the mindset of optimism in this whole space, because it's very easy to slip to the other side.
Yeah.
And the dark side is there. Obviously, I'm not oblivious to it, but I do believe that it's going to be like everything in life. There's going to be a dark side and a light side, and the light side is always going to be able to fight the dark side, whatever the dark side's doing. So it's my position to always take the light side and maybe be a force for good on that side, because AI is here, man.
Yeah.
It's
here
not
to
going
stay.
anywhere.
And it's probably been here longer than we know, and it's just now being released to the public at some level.
That's the crazy thing, because AI has been around for a long time. The idea of AI has been many years ago.
Yeah.
But the problem was computing power. They had the idea and they had the know-how, but computers couldn't crunch the numbers. So now, I mean, technology is exponentially growing.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So now we're able to crunch these numbers, and AI is now showing itself to us. And AI is going to get better over time, because technology is exponentially growing. Computers are going to get faster and faster and faster. And energy is going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So it's like this perfect storm for AI. It's what AI needs.
Jeez. Have you seen the show Humans?
No.
On Netflix, or is it Netflix or is it Amazon? It's on Amazon.
I should watch it.
Yeah, so it talks about the development of AI and how quickly it's growing.
Yeah.
But basically, to summarize it, the AIs, some of them have developed a consciousness. One of the developers of
weird.
AI, he actually found a way to program consciousness within a certain amount of AI.
I think it's transference
like
of consciousness.
Transfer of consciousness, yeah. And so the whole premise of the thing is really trying to figure out what protections do they have as conscious beings now, because they're conscious, right?
What are their rights?
Right, yeah, what are their rights? Where do you draw the line? Because they were using AI for like cleaning the house, or sometimes obviously sexual things, or just whatever it was. And
the maids, butlers.
Yeah, the menial tasks that none of us really want to do, they were using AI. So you would just buy an AI and it would take care of all that. But some of them, had consciousness now.
And they were called synths.
Synths.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of AI stuff that's called synth something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I gotta watch this.
It's so good. I was obsessed for a while.
Yeah. I had a very high thought of like, what if other beings were the ones to develop AI, like the version of what a human looks like, and then we are the actual end result of AI's evolution.
Right? We are AI.
Yeah. We are AI. Simulation.
But
Right?
it's just the like the evolution eventually. Like, you create AI, a robot, you put it in a human, like skin, so on, and then eventually transfer consciousness to it.
Yeah.
That's a human, and then it just evolves. Or it's like we are technology. Like, everything is energy, everything is atoms.
True.
So it's like maybe we are just the highest version of that technology.
I mean, if you're talking aliens, like, why would you send a human? You know, you'd send a version of AI to another planet.
Yeah, to test it out.
Like, we think of like maybe aliens here being living they could just be like robots.
Yeah.
You know, why not? If they're
true.
so far advanced, why not?
Yeah.
Well, then it makes me think about all the pyramids and how there's like all sorts of high technology and stuff that we don't necessarily understand. you know more about that, the Tesla towers and Nikola Tesla and all of this shit that's like super advanced that we can't necessarily understand how they created it back then. But
yeah, like the actual pyramids.
Yeah.
Like they, what we're shown as history is that they built these pyramids by hand, by leveraging and using, different mechanics that
and humans. I'm just kidding.
slaves as well.
Slaves, yeah.
But I think that history is probably rewritten, and the likelihood of it being different technology that was used to create that stuff is highly probable.
Yeah.
But who the hell
Weird to
knows?
think about.
Yeah.
I mean, even the consciousness in AI, I mean, if it ever gets to that, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Because that's like one of the things that like makes us human, you know, and differentiates us from robot.
Yep.
And another
everything
thing
else on Earth.
is judgment too. AI, humans are going to have a better judgment than AI.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, even getting back to that jobs topic, like humans are, I believe, are always going to have a huge role.
Yeah.
Because we have judgment and we have consciousness. And AI is going to be incredibly good at the mundane task. But that's cool, because what if you don't have to think about the mundane task and you can stay in a flow state?
Yep.
A creative flow state.
Very true.
Like, where do we go in our evolution as creative beings?
Oh, that is so true.
I think is it iRobot where they built an army of robots?
Yeah, is that Will Smith? I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like that came out probably a decade or 2 decades ago, but that is also very possible. And now with the development of AI,
that's the dark side.
I know. Yeah, and it's like it's going to be humans that are going to run that. Yeah. Right. So I think
that's true.
I guess when it comes to your desire to be a force of good when it comes to AI, do you have a vision for what you're creating, or are you just kind of going as far as you can see and then you go further?
My vision right now is just to help people become future-proof. Like, future-proof themselves that they are relevant in the next year or two, because it's going to change that much. And if you aren't actually taking the time to learn these tools, you might be an amazing person, so skilled at what you do right now, but the person that is maybe 1/10 of what you are that learns these tools is going to take your job.
Yeah, that's what.
That's very true.
Stefan Georgi, who's one of our investors in IBIY, is one of the best copywriters in the world right now, and we went to one of his conferences recently, and he's teaching everybody how to integrate AI into copywriting. He says if you're not learning copywriting right now, you won't be a copywriter 6 months from now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
really
kind of my
evolving that
vision,
fast.
like future-proof myself, and also bring a lot of people along with me that are really interested in that stuff, because I know there's people out there that are really driven, ambitious, and maybe it are those people that are 1/10 as good as their peer, and they want to take over, and they want to have their opportunity. I mean, this is their shot. I mean, this is a leveling force like no other. Every company in the world right now is thinking, how can I stay relevant?
Well, that's where the consulting side of things, when it comes to like really understanding the capabilities of AI on a full scope. It's like coming into a company like mine with IBIY, where it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is our product. This is how we're delivering it. This is the different things that we have going on. Where do you see AI integrated for us to produce more, be more productive, more efficient, and produce more content, but also while maintaining the human aspect of it? Like, all of that is going to be incredibly valuable. So you in a way are going to be producing people, right, helping them develop those skills,
become
and be able
consultants.
To go.
And, you know, it's awesome. Like, people have reached out to me and they're like, yo, I'm really helping my company. You know, I'm really teaching my colleagues. Like, I really do love learning from you. And that's like fuel to the fire, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because I run another business completely different than AI. But it's like, that keeps me like so engaged in this. Like, those comments are like, honestly, just what keeps me like thinking and wanting to push. Because right now I'm releasing a video every day. And the videos are very thought out. Like, they're not like just simple, like, they're like plans.
Yeah.
And that has been fuel to my fire. But to be honest, I've been running an experiment over the last 30 days, and I think I'm on day 11. I can't remember exactly. It's AI keeps track of that for me. But the experiment was, I called it GPT Genie, and I basically trained ChatGPT to be my personal expert in social media and business.
Wow.
And I prompted it to start asking me a series of questions to start learning exactly what I wanted to do, my goals, my target audience, my current status on social media. And I started answering all these questions, and then it started learning about me and my goals. And then we together came up with a set of goals. And
wow.
it wrote a 30
action steps.
Yeah, it wrote a 30-day plan for me to hit the goals. And then every day now I work with GPT Genie to figure out what I'm going to do for the day. We write the script together, and I throw it in a teleprompter.
Wow.
And I go for it. And now it's getting a little more advanced where my days are actually woven together. Like this idea right now with this advertisement, it's broken up into 4 days. And
wow.
and that is now 4 days of content, right? So it's easy to make it one day at a time.
That's so brilliant.
You know, it's
brilliant.
crazy. Here, I want to show you one thing. I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram this last post. So you can hear you take a picture of this, but basically this is pre GPT Genie. This is with GPT Genie experiment. Look at the growth, consistent growth.
Wow.
So I'm
Are you gonna build a course on that? Because that's like, I'm like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah. It's consistent growth right now, which is incredible. And it's in my mind, it's like I'm not so stressed to think about ideas because I know that I'm working with AI to basically formulate a plan. And now it's getting to the point where it's weaving them together. Like these days are getting weaved together, which is insane.
Do you feel like it's increasing your energy budget or your capacity to do more because you have to put less thought and creative energy into that part? Like it's kind of
absolutely
doing part of the work for you?
I'm able to now focus on like storytelling and good editing. And
so more of the creative aspects.
Exactly, that's what I said. AI is going to take away the mundane and allow us to be truly creative beings.
Oh, that's so cool.
And like, where do we go as pure creativity? Because that's what makes us human, emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, emotion makes us human. A lot of good creative art is from emotions.
Yeah.
And we get out of that flow state when we're like, oh, the computer's not working, you know? Or like,
something
how do I
goes
get this to
wrong.
work? Oh, I got to Google it, and I got to read that. You know?
Yeah.
What if you're just like, hey, do this for me. I'm going to keep on working on this flow state.
That's cool.
That's really wild and exciting.
Yeah. And it prompts more of your creativity too when you ask it for ideas.
Yeah.
I've used Chat GPT for just general concepts that like I don't know. I'll just babble on it.
Yeah.
And see what it comes up with. Like help me. I even figured out some questions that I might want to ask you like with AI.
Are you using GPT-4?
No, not yet.
You should.
It's better.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Night and day.
Really?
Yeah, night and day.
Is it a whole different company?
No, it's just the upgraded version of ChatGPT.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Auto GPT is also the same company, right? Or is it like
Auto GPT is a leap in evolution.
Really? Yeah, because it's fully automated.
Yeah.
It does its own thing. Like, yeah.
So
what's the difference between them all?
okay. So
She probably knows more than me.
I'm an amateur in Auto GPT, but I had a friend come over who's a programmer, and because you can get it on your computer, right? It's running locally on my machine, and
it's a constant running application.
It's a constant running application. I prompt it once, and it will. All right, this gets wild. Are you guys ready to nerd out?
Yeah.
Okay, so I prompt it, and it creates a persona, and it becomes a manager. And as the manager, it can then create sub-agents. And those sub-agents are just like a hierarchy of a company. I have my
like
marketing
employees.
department, exactly. And then it will prompt as the manager and start giving tasks to its employees.
Stop.
And simultaneously, it'll go out there and it has access to the internet. It'll start browsing the web. Like it'll say, hey, I need you to be a social media manager. Go out there and tell me how to build a community online. And that agent will go out, learn that, report back to the main GPT.
How long does this process take for your employee to learn to go search through the internet and learn?
I don't know, 10 minutes.
That's insane.
And you can have it run overnight because it's auto-prompting itself. It's getting smarter and smarter over time, so it's learning from itself.
Yeah.
So this is a glimpse into the future of AI, because it's now we're kind of seeing what is called artificial general intelligence, which is a leap in terms of what we currently have. It's very new. It's in its infancy right now. Like, I mean, me playing it with it's like it gets wild sometimes. I like shut it off. but it's what wrote my rap song for what I'm gonna release with Snoop Dogg. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
With Snoop Dogg.
With AI Snoop Dogg.
And so it wrote
Oh
it, and
my
I just said, hey, write me this, do that, and it started browsing the web, literally opening my browser, scanning it.
So you'll watch the whole process
Watching
as it does that?
It's from my couch,
Holy
just like
shit.
this.
I feel like I have questions.
So many.
So,
That.
do you have any questions?
No, I mean, honestly, I'm still just trying to grasp
And
what
all,
this
yeah.
looks. I'm just gonna have to download it. That's obviously what I'm gonna end up doing for the
Yeah.
next couple of days.
Yeah, she's not gonna do any work for the next few days. Which, in a way, it is work.
Well,
It's like-
if you need help, let me know. Because
Yeah,
you
I didn't know
have
your
to-
community was free too, so I'm definitely gonna be.
Oh, it
using
is.
Yeah.
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 Literally been.
Everybody join immediately.
Yeah. What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
gonna be cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I have two questions that are battling for attention. The thing is, so
Let them both out.
there's this. I have questions about integrating that into a business and how you see that not taking jobs from humans with the ability to create a hierarchy and deploy tasks between different departments and stuff. And then there's this other part of me that is so curious if it is like really searching the entire web, if you could prompt it to teach it to find the actual truth to a question that may be very hard to find through just your normal Google search, because they put certain things in front of our face that they want us to see versus what we actually want to see.
Okay, first question.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You get to choose the browsers that they look through then.
So you could do like DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
And
I mean, technically you could, because it's a program, right? And it's open source. The craziest thing is it's open source. I have the code on my computer. I can change it, and I could fork it, which is a programming term. If I can transition it into my own version, if I want.
Oh wow.
It's out there in the world. I have the full company, if it's a company, on my laptop. Where I can edit the source code. I know all the code.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And that's like, okay.
Yeah. But that's not general knowledge. You have a software background, so like you know how to
like if you
it.
So if you wanted to get Auto GPT on your computer, I mean, if you don't know that stuff, I would have to help you.
Got it. Because I would fork it up. Sorry,
give me a brief summary on the first question that you asked.
So, for instance, I'm the CMO for IBOI.
Oh, jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, building a marketing team, right?
Okay, I got you.
I see you explaining how it builds a hierarchy and delegates tasks. How does that not replace?
Okay, so it does.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Straight up.
Straight up.
This is weird. I'm gonna change this.
But here's the well, you're going backwards. Look at that, flipping it up.
It's more comfortable. I don't want my feet in the picture.
Danna-Gift show.
So it absolutely is going to take jobs, but it's like anything in our history. I mean, when the tractor was invented, it took jobs from people.
Yeah.
When the Industrial Revolution was happening, it took jobs from people. When everything has taken jobs from people, but it's too early to tell what us as humans are going to create. but that is in our timeline. It just always is that way, and humans always find the way to adapt to it. So this narrative, like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Basic income, like, I don't really subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna become incredibly creative, and we're gonna use these tools to leverage just a better future.
Yeah. That's great, because so I think very similar to you, but I know it's a general question that probably a lot of people ask, and so I want to know your perspective on it.
Yeah.
Because I very much agree, and I think that I personally was very anti, like when I was, on the SWAT team and like doing that whole thing, I was very anti social media, anti technology, like old soul, resisting evolution of any of that, and I don't even know why.
Yeah.
But I just resisted it, and then when I got into business, I had to learn very quickly that either I have to evolve with it, or I will be behind the curve. And then you think of like, okay, look at Blockbuster versus Netflix, right? The ability to evolve and transition with technology, or the inability to do it can be your demise.
Yeah,
can lead to your demise. So,
and humans are incredibly adaptive.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being human.
Yeah, it is. It's what makes us human.
So I think when I hear that and like the capabilities of AI, especially as a CMO, I'm like, I actually have to tap into this.
Yeah.
I need to tap into it. I need to tap into it now instead of waiting.
Dude, everybody has to.
Yeah.
And but I haven't been, because I'm like, I don't.
You're still
like,
early.
there isn't a level of urgency because I'm not necessarily building the team yet. Yeah. But the capabilities, like I didn't know that, so I may have gone and hired 4 people instead of one that could have ran that system that you just built out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Where that could then, create higher margins, because we don't have to hire as many people. We don't have as high as payroll. We don't have as many office spaces. Right? The level of benefits for the company, which especially with us, the more money we can make and the higher our margins, the more impact we can make on the world, because we're going to be out giving anybody and everybody.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's huge for me. Like even just like that's, if I don't take away anything else during this conversation, that in itself, that capability and knowing that that's possible is triggering my a deeper interest in AI for me to start learning, and specifically from you as somebody that's close to me that has a great channel that's teaching people. So that's cool.
You can use it to write your legal contracts. I was trying to tell him, because they're messing around with their legal contracts for their business, and I'm like, why don't you just throw it in a ChatGPT? Make iterations as necessary. But he's like, no, we're just going to edit.
So there's, and because I definitely agree, there's probably some benefits to it. But during the conference with Stefan, our investor, they talked about that, and they said that it wasn't at the level yet where it knew how to redline and actually make sure that it fit the legal requirements for that state. But with the right prompts, though.
Well, here's the thing, though, on that. GPT-4 absolutely can do that, but you got to train it first. If you put in the document of what you want it to be like, or the parameters, and then you write good prompts, because prompting engineering is a thing right now. If you can prompt ChatGPT
that's a career.
In a better way, it's going to give you a better output. And that's something that is really intriguing, because you can really get good at prompting. You could be better at prompting than someone else, and you're going to have a better result.
That's what I want to learn. Did you, just out of curiosity, continue to prompt it until you got the results you wanted, or did you have to study prompting?
I'm a researcher.
Okay.
I'm constantly researching, I'm also a tinkerer.
Yeah.
Trial and error all the time. And so I just have been doing it I've prompted so many times now that it's just like I know the best results. I know what it likes, what it doesn't like, and just kind of run tests side by side and all that kind of stuff. But it's for sure a thing. One way of writing a sentence and the other way of writing a sentence is going to give you a different output. And with these models, you can train them. So like for the legal thing, just upload an example of what it should be, and it will know that, and then it can start going in that direction. Like you can even have it, if you're very public online, you can have it go read your articles, and it'll start training on your own voice and your own tone.
Oh my gosh.
So then it could start writing like you.
Yeah, you teach it to speak your brand voice.
Yeah.
That's something we learned at that conference. It was like mind-blowing. He spent an hour and a half through one thing, prompting it to do a whole. It was a whole. I ended up scripting an entire video, and then they tied it to like creating a digital version of somebody. I forget what you call it, but basically, I end up building out a whole video of a guy teaching something, and they showed it to his wife, and like, what are you showing me? And the husband's like, I never did that.
Oh,
I never did that.
The clone. He
Yeah,
made his
yeah,
own
basically clone.
avatar,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, Avatar. Thank you.
Yeah.
And obviously took his voice and from a podcast
Yeah.
that he had spoke on.
Yeah.
So they captured it from there, and ended up. It was to a T. She didn't know that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I need to see this because I could definitely tell your avatar was AI.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'd only. Well, yeah, but that's animated and stuff.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
actually do your own face, like a
Oh,
real version
really?
of you.
Which is probably what they did. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were using Journey or Mid Journey.
Yeah, there's a company called Sentients, and you can submit to them. I think it's like $1,000. And,
That's what it was.
And you read
Okay,
you
I
read in
was
front of
about
a
to
green screen, and you read a script exactly what they need, and then you can just type, and your own self will talk.
That is so.
I mean, it's
insane.
right now it's a little glitchy,
Yeah.
but in a year, it's gonna be better.
3 months could be.
Honestly, yeah, I'd say a few months.
You know, one thing too, is just the light fighting the dark. A word for that is that cloning is becoming so easy, especially the voice. I think it is really important with your loved ones and families to have some kind of safe word that you guys
like something
know.
you
Absolutely.
created.
Yeah, you
that
guys
AI
know.
can't. Yeah, that's.
It's like a
very
password,
true.
Like
Yeah. So
that's sweet.
there's a danger because we literally have our phones that are listening to us right now for advertising.
dude, all
Yeah.
the time. Your
Right.
voice is
So-
being recorded all the time.
Yeah.
So I've had I get phone calls all the time, and they don't say anything. So I wait because I don't want them to be recording my voice. And I'm like paranoid about it, but it's like at the end of the day, they could probably capture my voice from anywhere now.
Yeah.
They can go down any podcast that I've
Yeah.
been on,
Absolutely.
take my
Absolutely.
voice, and then end up recreating it, calling somebody, and like begging my mom for money, telling them I'm in jail or some
Yep,
shit.
yep.
And my mom would
my
probably believe
gosh.
that.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
my god, my parents definitely would.
Yes, yeah. Create a safe word.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's a light fight in the dark right there.
Yeah.
You know, they
That's
can't break
smart.
that.
Yeah.
No, that's smart.
What do you think about Elon Musk's tweet about postponing the development of AI?
Well, he just created an AI company.
Of course.
Did you know this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
catch up with that.
X.AI. He is now creating his own AI company.
Okay.
I'm just kind of surprised that wasn't already a thing, or he doesn't
Well,
have
he-
his money dumped into.
OpenAI
Yeah.
was very, very influential in the beginning
Yeah.
of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But now he's kind of getting in the space with X.AI, which I assume, my personal opinion, is going to be very tied to Twitter. And
That makes sense.
people on Twitter are going to
That's
have...
probably a long-term play when he bought Twitter on many fronts, but that
Yeah.
may have been even one of them.
Yeah, so he's in the space. Like, the whole pause part, though, because everybody signed the petition for a 6-month pause. Personally, I believe that, like, if we all did that, it would be awesome to just kind of look at it. We always should, like, assess the situation, because at this speed, it's
Yeah.
just lightning. It's just speed of light right
Yeah.
now. But the
It's
problem
like
is that
fire.
it'll never happen. Because just as I told you, I have AutoGPT on my local machine.
Yeah, it's
Learning.
already.
I would
it's
have to
running,
be
yeah.
part of that petition to sign.
Yeah.
So that means everybody in the world would have to be on that. So
Yeah.
the
there's-
rails are off.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that GPT Auto or
AutoGPT.
AutoGPT? Do you think that it could bypass logins to courses and learn from anywhere on the internet?
Give you like a Cliff Notes kind of thing, or
Or just like, because you said you're asking it to teach you or to show you how to build a community.
Yeah.
Or it's like, okay, I think of clients and community,
Yeah.
right? Stapes in them.
Yeah.
Where it's like, could it bypass their login
I
and
mean-
then capture all of their teachings?
I personally don't know the exact answer to this, so don't quote me on this, but I believe that you could code it to do that. I believe if you had a login somewhere, you could code it where it knows your password and somehow could get through that wall. I believe that it would be possible. Again, I don't know that 100% for sure, but
Yeah.
just out of my experience, because this is very new, I've only had AutoGPT now for 3 days.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
3 days.
3 days.
Wow.
And it's
And you're
doing
making
all
a Snoop
that.
Dogg rap about it.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's true.
It's done, dude. It's already done.
already
No, it's not done. It's not done.
Time just has to catch up. You're gonna do
I'm
it.
over
You're
here
gonna-
thinking like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah. We're gonna have to once you actually finish it, because I'm, you know,
We gotta post
I think
it.
you will. It'll be put in the links of everything.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
That's just so badass.
I mean, we got a connection to Snoop, so we just send it to him. You know, be like, what do you think about this? You want to put it on a record or what?
Snoop would be like, yo, man.
Oh man. Yeah,
That's
we'll see
insane.
how that turns out. But that'll be in like what, 3 days from now? Just happening so fast. Everything's happening so fast.
That's wild.
Have you had any like mishaps so far with exploring AI? Like things that, I don't know, your computer ever shut down or
Well,
something?
I mean, that whole GPT Genie experiment I'm running right now,
Is that actually a GPT thing, or you just kind of named it that?
I named it.
It's-
Okay.
Oh.
So it's just
oh,
like
GPT Genie is yours.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And I named it where basically I'm working with all within one thread, because on ChatGPT you can have multiple channels. So
Okay,
in one
yeah.
channel I just left it open, and everything I do is in that one channel, so it can read through and remember everything.
So you named that conversation.
GPT Genie.
Got it.
And I can literally be like, hey, let's talk about day 10, and it'll just spit me out a script, which is actually insane. Like that part is mind blowing. But sometimes it does have a little issue right now where it will forget a little bit. Like it'll get a little
The
confused.
prompt of the something went wrong.
Yeah, so I'll have to like kind of like, you
It's a
know,
little
put
AI,
it back
AI
on.
dementia.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
AI dementia. So
Like
I'll have to
concussion.
put it back on course a little bit. But other than that, like I really haven't had issues.
Really?
Like it's just I'm testing so many things. I mean, everything seems to be working, and it's like new AI companies are popping up every hour. It feels like.
Yeah.
So it's just
Everything.
it's a crazy space right now.
Yeah. Okay, so we've definitely talked about using it for productivity and workspace. What do you think about AI and companionship? I'm just curious.
That was
because-
in Humans.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Well,
dude
you know-
cheated on his wife with the AI and
Yeah.
had sex with it.
Yeah.
Oh really?
And Trey blew a load in her.
They get pregnant,
all right,
so
all
that's
right.
that's another thing that AI probably would be
Okay,
able
so
to do.
there's two stories that are pretty cool. The first one is about a dog and his owner. I don't know if you heard this story or not, but a dog was very sick. The owner took him to the vet. The vet did a bunch of tests, came back with the results, and said, we don't know what's happening. Like, we don't know, it's very rare or something. The dog went home, started getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And the owner put the results on ChatGPT, and it basically spit back some actual cases of what it could be. And
Oh,
it said,
wow.
you need to consult with a specialist immediately. And the owner took him to the specialist. The specialist confirmed that ChatGPT had the right answer and fixed the dog.
Wow.
And the dog's
Oh my
so
God, I could
happy,
figure out
ripping,
Kelly, too.
everything. That's the first story. The second story is I was reading about a grandma that was very lonely and started interacting with AI, and her sense of fulfillment and happiness increased.
So then her health probably
Wow.
increased.
So
Yeah.
I assume, but like, you know, that's kind of cool. Like people that are extremely lonely, like, don't get me wrong, like having AI as like your friend is a bizarre thing. Like that, it's bizarre
I mean, people
to
have
me.
imaginary friends too, so.
But I mean,
Even,
is that-
when you say we were working on this, like,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
It's
what's funny
inclusive.
is when I say that, I am very conscious of me saying that,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of giggling inside that I'm saying that.
I could tell.
See if anyone responds weirdly to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's powerful because it really is we. I mean,
Yeah.
my output is not my own output. It's a combination of me and AI. Like we are collaborating together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another entity. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a like my mom always says, like I always wanted to clone myself because I wanted to like have more output. And now I have.
Yeah.
Like literally, like
Have you had a conversation with your avatar? Your own avatar?
no, that's a good idea.
that would be
Oh my
funny.
god!
Just like,
Doing
Yeah.
a podcast with myself answering my own questions, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, possible.
Oh my gosh! And with
I'm doing
with
that.
Ed Milet's new book, Let Me Tell You About You.
Ooh.
What if you did like a little thing of that, but it was like you taught it to only speak really positive to you?
I'm gonna make it give
And
me
then you-
affirmations.
That would be.
That is cool. That's a good. Dude,
That's
there's
an interesting
so
idea.
many ideas like floating around right now for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And that's one cool thing about the space. Like anybody that actually, when I think about my audience, I really want to attract entrepreneurs, creatives, and people that are just extremely driven in the workplace.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of that will create amazing ideas. And if anybody in the community like creates something and they don't have a voice, like I do have a voice right now, so I'm happy to push it and share it. And I think that's a cool space because it's really collaborative. And now we're like kind of, this mastermind is kind of about that. Like, how do we grow together? How do we create things together? And I'm curious, and I have no idea how this would work, but I'd like to create a space too where we all share in the rewards. You know, like share in the space together. Like I don't need that all for myself. Like let's do it as a mastermind. Because there's always this like, there's this philosophy that it's like, I think it's a Eastern philosophy, but if there's like a huge stack of gold in the street and you go after it yourself saying it's just mine, you're not going to get a lot because people are going to come steal, people are going to, but if you assemble a team and you all go together and you organize, well then you potentially could take the whole pile and you eventually have more than what you would go at yourself.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation this morning, learning about like raising money for companies and dilution and how it actually like it's just increasing the value of your shares. But if you try to keep that your 40% of the company,
Yeah.
right, then the value of that 40% will not have the same potential.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to keep it all to yourself. So it's
You have less shares, but they're worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Elon owns what 5 to 8% of Tesla now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
That's insane.
I mean, I'd be okay
and
with
he's worth
having
400 billion.
Yeah.
I'm
I think
perfectly
I'd be
fine
good
having
with that.
1% of a company that's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know, if you have 100% of a company that's worth $100,000, I mean,
Yeah.
so it's the same idea. Like, I want to create the space where we are able to work together in this crazy gold rush.
It's really what it is, and because I mean, data is the new oil, right?
Yep.
But there's a different way to use it as well,
Mm-hmm.
and so getting creative with it, I think, is super powerful. It's just, I mean, really, what you're doing is empowering people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
And I feel that too, man. The messages that I get are incredible. So
and even
crazy.
me, I'm like, I'm inspired. Like today, I'm going to dive into
Yeah,
it.
I'm
For the
definitely
first time,
joining
like,
the
truly
community.
diving into it. Like I haven't,
Yeah.
like I've got on ChatGPT. I've used it for stuff, but I haven't like, and I even have so many notes from the conference I went to and stuff. But even after that, I didn't go home and dive into it.
Yeah.
I watched so many, like, you know, Perry Belcher and Cole was up there. There's a bunch of people that were speaking on it, but it didn't necessarily inspire me to dive into it the way this conversation is.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing about the community too. I think it inspires you to actually dive into it because we're sharing things. You know, like if you
It's
want
not
to
like
be
a course.
if you want to be a part of that video that I'll release, you'll figure out how to use Midjourney.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're gonna inspire other people, and then that whole thing is just the snowball effect. And then now you're bringing ideas from your research, so that's like the beauty of the mastermind, and that's the vision for that. And I'm sitting here on the back end like, oh shit, like I didn't know any of these things.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm
you're
so-
getting surprised all the
yeah,
time.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like there's so many smart people in the world.
Yeah.
Like I'm just very fortunate right now that I jumped on it immediately, and I love it.
I think it's naturally going to be huge, dude.
Yeah.
I really
It's
think
already.
that,
It's been
yeah.
2 months that you've had it, right?
Yeah, 2.5 months.
2.5 months. 500 people in your community.
Yeah, like 60,000 some combined followers.
And just a shared collective.
You know what's interesting? Because 2.5 months ago, like my social media presence was like 0. It was actually quite comforting because I never really was on my phone. Like I never checked my phone. I was just off the radar for that. Like you couldn't find any. I was just off.
Yeah.
And then now, fast forward 2.5 months, it's like social media is like everywhere for me. Like I'm posting videos every day, but I had to learn a lot about social media. Like I was like asking friends like, yo, okay, so a reel, you post a reel, then you gotta do this, and and then for the
That's
first like
insane.
half of my videos, I didn't even know that you could do like cover images. And then for the next part, I didn't know that you can like choose different cover images. So like all my images were like, you know, wonky and like,
Wow, this was just 2 months ago,
Yeah.
2.5 months ago.
and a surprising thing, on my Instagram, I guess I had set up a Facebook page like years ago, and it said, do you want to share it to your Facebook page as well? And I said, why not? And then I was in Costa Rica, I was surfing down there, and my phone just kept notifying me, and it was like saying like these weird numbers, like 45,000 views or whatever. And I was like, on Facebook?
Yeah.
And I opened my Facebook page, and it was racking up like 500,000, a million views. And
That's crazy.
yeah, and now there's 37,000 followers on my Facebook.
Wow.
Wow.
And I had to go in there and like figure out, I had to change my profile picture because it was like this weird profile picture. It was
Questionable.
like, yeah, it was like, I was like, oh man.
Oh, wow.
So the whole branding thing had to come in quick, and like
Yeah.
learning all that and all the social media things. Like it's been a ride.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How is, like, aside, obviously AI is one of your companies or things that you're running, how has that affected the rest of your companies?
In
Have you,
such a
like, applied
positive
it?
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my water filtration company called Spring Aqua, amazing in the world physical product. It's been awesome because now we're going to leverage these tools for that company. And my team right now of software engineers are working on customer service chatbots. And
Oh, wow.
we're training it on everything from all our videos, all our text message conversations with customers, all our phone calls.
Oh my
It knows
gosh.
everything. And it won't sleep, but also it knows it in every single language.
Oh my gosh.
Stop.
Even better. So you can reach
Yeah.
everyone across the globe.
So now we're gonna release that, I would say, in the next few weeks. It's gonna be for all our existing customers to be able to chat with it, to have real-time answers. It could be anything, like how do you install the machine, blah, blah, have the conversation. We can transition that into actual text messages where you can text customer support.
Wow.
And then we're going to transition that into sales, where it's the front end, like creating the conversation, setting appointments.
Stop.
Yeah.
Jeez. And you could probably train it all to match your voice or your tonality or
You
the
can
verbiage
animate
you
it.
use.
You could totally change the way customer service is disrupted a month ago.
Yeah.
That's great. So, will you be able to duplicate it and license that once you actually create the software
I'd
for
love
it?
to.
Okay. We're going to have a whole different conversation about this because I'm like, you got to figure out your consulting fees ASAP.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, I never, like, as I do this, like I said, so many people reaching out to me, and I'm leaning into a lot of this, like creating relationships with the people, like actually trying to write back and get to know them if they're interested in talking to me. And a lot of people have come to me and just told me, like, yo, I need you to consult with my company. Like, you gotta come, like, ASAP. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that means. Like, this is all, like, of
It's
course
so
I
new.
have all the info and I would love to do that, but what's that even look like?
Yeah.
You know?
Ask
Well,
ChatGPT.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being a guinea pig. You
Yeah.
know, you start to iron out your process
Yeah.
Yeah.
with a company that's trying to become a multi-billion-dollar
Yeah,
company.
absolutely.
You know,
It's
Oh my
all
gosh.
learning. It's all a learning process, and that's something that I actually am passionate about is learning. I constantly am learning. Every day I'm learning. I'm the guy that's on YouTube, you know, rather than watching the movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guy that's like waiting and like scrolling through reading or getting totally lost in some subject. And
Random subject.
I love it.
Same.
so she's very much the same way.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I was very much like that probably the last 3 years, but it's almost like I entered the season of not being as obsessed with learning.
Or
Yeah.
curiosity.
Yeah.
It could just be that you're focused in on
Dude, I get that too, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
there's
so that's
seasons.
going to be my question.
There are
Yeah.
seasons,
Okay.
and I've been through those seasons. And there's seasons of just like chilling. Like, I went through a season, especially during the pandemic. I was living in Mexico, and I just surfed every day, and I was just about that. Like, that's what I needed. That's what my soul needed. And because previously, maybe I was like, a self-help junkie. Like, I'm just...
That's probably where I'm at still.
So I've been through those seasons, but at the end of the day, it's like, even that season, I'm still learning. At that point in time, I was learning about the ocean. I was learning about myself, my own fears, all that stuff.
So that's very true. So I guess from the way in which I was communicating, it was more so from a like studying, learning, whereas we've very much been through like, and I guess more so the area that I've been learning, and maybe you as well for sure, but like more about myself and navigating emotions and learning in a very different way. But whereas like even this morning I asked her, I'm like, do you ever have periods where like you just are listening to podcasts all the time, and then all of a sudden it just stops and you don't listen to podcasts for like months?
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's gotta be an integration period, right? You can learn and absorb all of this stuff, but if you don't actually apply or integrate, then what's the point?
Yeah.
But it's seasons, I feel like. Because right now I'm in a heavy absorption period where I'm just like reading everything, learning everything, playing around with tinkering, and just being curious about things. But I'm sure I'm going to be like in a good flow with where I'm at, and then just falling off with that learning thing.
That's interesting because now I'm recalling is like it's so interesting that we kind of forget these things, but the season I'm kind of coming out of was what kept coming to me in meditation or anything was consume less, process more. Consume less, process more. So I was consuming a lot less information.
Right now.
Yeah. But I actually feel like this conversation is a pivotal moment where it's going to transition.
Well,
which is really interesting.
If you aren't paying attention to AI, man, you're going to get smoked.
Well, and it's like there's no way that I can be a successful CMO of a very large company and take it where it needs to go and lead without that knowledge and skill at some level.
Yeah. That's why, like...
So I can hire people to do it, but...
Or you can just hire Auto GPT.
Yeah, that's true.
You just hire and employ all the what are they called?
Sub-agents.
Sub-agents. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's insane. Employ your whole corporation with Auto GPT.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the whole thing about the AI surfer is like the wave is coming.
Yeah.
And right now...
I love that. Is that your slogan?
It should be. And this is a work in progress.
Ours too with the...
Oh my gosh, waves.
It's coming. I mean, we're paddling as hard as we can right now, and trying to bring as many people along with us, because it's gonna crash, and you're either gonna ride it or you're gonna get wiped out.
Yeah, that's wild. I feel like when you're talking about different ways to have everybody win and get like a piece of the pie with what you're building, there's so many different departments in utilizations of AI that there's definitely a world where you could employ people to build the courses for all of those things and make them accessible and more affordable for people to be building those skills.
Yeah, great idea.
Right? That's definitely, I mean, something, I guess that my mind goes that because that's what I've done for the last 4 years is we've, built communities and curriculums and all that. And that's very much like I see that application to impact and education on that level, especially if you can simplify and teach it in a way that people can truly understand. Because even like your step-by-step process, you're like, I'm gonna do this today, this tomorrow, like keeping it simple and step-by-step. I don't know if you've taught before or really stepped into that at all, but you may be a great teacher because of the way that your brain works and the way that you deliver how to do something.
It's interesting. We were talking previously, and the first thing that I got into is actually I wrote a book on search engine optimization. So I did the manuals, I did the step-by-steps and training, and I guess I've always been in that space. But this is a little different because I really have this vision of wanting to activate the community. Like, it would be so cool to be able to, like, share in the reward of teaching the world about AI, and the people that get involved now are part of that process.
That's so cool.
Like, that would be so cool. Like, that's such a cool thing for everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like there is even a disrupting the way in which affiliate marketing is done.
Yeah.
Right, because that's like the easy way to go do, not the easy way, but a way that's already that road's already been paved.
Yeah.
Right, is creating some sort of affiliate organization within that, so people are getting paid from it. But I think there's probably thinking bigger and different and outside the box that could really disrupt that whole industry and create probably a whole new subsection of it.
Well, I'm really excited to launch this feature that we're releasing today, is the point system inside the community, because that is also a tied. Everybody gets their own link, so they can go out and share, and by sharing you start racking up points, and that point system will eventually become something.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. This is off topic and more of a question for myself. Is there an AI software that can help me edit this podcast? Because I want to release it like tomorrow.
And teach you how to edit your podcast?
Yeah, I bet you can train it.
There actually is.
I know there's ones that you can grab clips. Like
there's the
Leech or
repurposed
something like
ones. There's also ones that will cut out all the silence and just split it together really easily, like instantly.
Well, cut out all the ums and...
Yep.
Really?
You can train it for that.
Wow.
And there's ones that will just automatically put music to it, do dynamic zooms, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's changing. You know, like Hollywood, I believe is going to be disrupted as well.
Oh, yeah.
This brings up another topic I want to talk about, is actual, like, if you have any knowledge or beliefs around, like, actual clones, or them using, like cloning, using the current technology to... like broadcasts, you know, the president saying something when he's actually not even there.
Oh my gosh, like there's a picture of the Pope wearing this big white puffer jacket. It became
yeah.
like a viral meme or something.
Or Trump getting arrested.
Yeah. So I'm curious how that's going to affect our perception on real
I think
people.
we're already in the place of like what is true.
Yeah.
Right? We've been in there for years now.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's just gonna extend that even further. But at this point, we're kind of prepared, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what is true now?
Yeah.
We don't really know what is true.
And that's hard. It's like, how do we prove it now?
But that's cool, though. Because
AI might be able to.
Yeah. Well, also, it's cool because it does channel you to use your own discernment to look into
your
yourself,
judgment.
Your own judgment.
Get back to human.
Start critical thinking.
Yeah.
Since
exactly.
somehow half the...
Not just believing everything that's in front of your
about.
eyes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes us human. Start using that skill again.
Mm-hmm.
Start refining that skill. Get better and better at it.
Yeah.
It's
Authenticity. What did Nathan was telling me? Authenticity and vulnerability is the new currency.
Yeah.
Because AI and everything is taking over, you know, the way we curate our messages online.
Yeah.
So really, it's like who really has that personality that can shine through.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm really excited for what's to come, especially in the video space.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
There's like, I've been messing with some video tools that are just so crazy, like animating, just filtering with just saying I want it to look like this, you know, texting. And there's a platform called Wonder Studio that is now getting in the space of Hollywood with CGI. Where if you are a filmmaker and you have an iPhone or some good camera, like you could start making potential movies.
Wow.
Yeah, CGI movies, 3D models, animated, like full on, mind blowing stuff.
Holy.
That's probably where that one video came from. I think Joe Rogan may have shared it, where it was like from the perspective of a helicopter that was over the ocean looking at a ship, and there was like a huge whale that came up out of the water and like knocked crushed the ship and stuff.
Are you talking about
Avatar?
No. I don't think so. That'd be hilarious.
Sharknado?
I don't know. He shared something recently. He was just commenting on like AI and CGI and all that.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna get wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy to see the art develop from AI too, from what you prompt it. Like it can really create some detailed imagery of what you, as long as you prompt it correctly and give it the right details, it can really come up with some crazy art.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, interior design could be changed completely as well, because you can really get creative with
it. Already is.
I've seen some pictures online. I'm like,
you can create your space.
That's insane. insane.
I feel like there's a way to weave in without like talking about the app that you wanted to develop. There's a way to probably weave AI.
That'll be off
into that.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an app that I have in mind that I would love to jump on board as soon as the funding hits. I think it's probably like the one that needs to be developed soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane. That'll be off camera.
Yeah. Gotta do some extensive market research on that to see if there's anybody already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
fucking.
Use
That's
Auto
gonna be better,
GPT, man.
yeah.
You're your best
Yeah.
researcher.
Seriously.
That's gonna be the
They'll
first thing I
scour
do
the
is
web.
download that. Yeah.
I gotta get. That's like the one thing I need to get better, or not better at, but also start doing again is like becoming a researcher again, because
Yeah.
I used to be so obsessed with that. And,
It's good just for your own inspiration too, for the
Yeah.
content you want to create, the things that I mean, that's why I downloaded all the news articles and things again, not to, fill my mind with shit, but to really inspire me, to
You know
encourage
what's
me
going
to
on in the world.
continue
Yeah.
being curious.
It's the golden hour of research
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I mean, it's happening so fast.
it's insane. All right. Unfortunately, we are at the hour, so I have.
Wow, that was an hour.
Yeah, it went by so quickly.
Cool.
I wish I didn't have.
Is that the limit? Can we not push it another 20, 30 minutes?
No, because I have work.
What time you gotta leave?
Leave by 12, but I still gotta finish getting ready and all the things.
You gotta leave at 12. For sure. You probably.
Well, I gotta get ready, finish getting ready at 12. Fuck it, we'll push it. Let's keep going.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Yes.
We'll go at least for another 20, 15, 20.
Okay, so I'm curious. You're obviously
That's
a
all off.
optimist when it comes to AI. You
Yeah.
don't really.
Play into the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning, did you at all? And if so, is there anything specific that you like really like? Oh, I don't want to entertain that because I could go down a rabbit hole with.
No. I've always chosen the light, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'll be a light warrior,
Hell yeah.
you
That's
know?
cool.
So it's like, I know that just as many, if not more people on the light side, we're going to have a bigger
Oh,
team.
for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
The light side can always whip, the dark side's ass.
So this is. I'm curious if you've ever heard anything about this, but going back to the pyramids and everything. So without going super deep into all of it, there's a lot of stories and people getting downloads and messages about 144,000, and what it was referring to is 144,000 starseeds, light warriors, beings on Earth that are here specifically to raise the consciousness of the human race, and specifically because there was a time where the pyramids and all that, there's a technology involved in that we do not understand right now, or at least we're not exposed to the truth of what they are. They are lined up with the star system very perfectly for something we don't understand. And from what I've gathered, at some point the technology was deactivated because of who the human race was becoming. The direction that we were going, we would have used it to destroy the earth, or somehow it would have actually destroyed us. And so it was deactivated, and now we're getting to a point where it is needed again, or we're evolving to a point where we will understand it, and because of that, there's that many souls on earth that are the true purpose is to raise the consciousness of the human race, be the light warriors as you put it, so that we can use it again.
Oh, wow.
And so
you think like these towers, this energy source could be reactivated?
yeah,
Potentially?
Yeah.
From our engagement with it, or more of
well,
just like
I think
a
that we may
collective-
hit a point of consciousness where it will be activated by somewhere else.
Wow, that's
Because
like energy.
they're
Oh.
lined up, like the Great Pyramid of Giza is lined up with Orion's belt perfectly. And I'm pretty sure that's the star system. Don't quote me here. I'm pretty sure it's that one. But and if you look at all of the different pyramids, the now it's Mayan ruins and different points of the earth and energy centers, they line up with star systems, but they are no longer activated at all. And so that is something where I feel like, whether it happens in our lifetime or not, who knows?
Yeah.
Right. But
that's some deep stuff, man.
Yeah. And then obviously
that I'm like, give me a little tug real quick.
That cracks up in a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can go down many rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But since you said Light Warrior and we're talking about the evolution of technology,
I mean,
I
I
we'll
hope that
circle
we do have some kind of like human intervention when AI wants to make the leap into reconstructing itself into something better. The tadpole to the frog.
Yeah.
Have human intervention right there just to check it out. Make sure. I believe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure there's always checks in the way so it doesn't totally get out of control. But you're sitting here and you're knowing that there's someone else that's not doing that.
Yeah.
So that's the wild part, and that's why that 6-month pause would never work.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think that it just stunts the growth a little bit, slows it down because people are agreeing to not evolve?
But
obviously,
it's just like the more major
learning.
corporations that had signed that, right? It's not.
It wasn't even. It was just some influential people in the AI space.
Oh, so so the people who are working in their garage basement are toggling away at it.
Yeah.
And there's no stopping that.
There is no stopping it. I mean, there's just no stopping it. It's going.
Yeah.
It's going right now.
So jump on.
Yeah.
I wonder if we. My mind is going to so many different ways. the like Egypt and the pyramids thing. I'm like, now I want to know if AI can find the truth about things, because if so, I wanted to like search and scour the internet for anything about the evolution of.
Yeah, that goes back to your first question, or the choice in which you allow it to scour through. So DuckDuckGo.
Yep.
Where are they getting their source? Where is the AI getting its sources?
Yeah, I hope AI is a truth seeker.
Yeah.
I hope you can fine tune it in the way where it becomes something that like you have more trust in. That'd be so nice for us as humans to like be able to assimilate information that's out there and have some kind of gauge on a trust barometer. This is 80% trustworthy. Like, okay, well, that helps me with my judgment.
Yeah.
This is 30% trustment. Okay, that helps me with my judgment. Right now we don't have any of that. We're just like, dude, is that real? Like.
So I mean, at some point we could probably teach it discernment, but then it's like that's judgment. Yeah. And then they have one of the human elements to
I
them.
think that's where the whole ethical question of it is, where people could use it for maybe helping them heal their mental space, and how does it put out that information, like following through with, I don't even know what I'm trying to say now, but
I know you're going with
but you know what I'm saying, like it's really
very
is
questionable as far as like where the line is.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows.
No, I think also we'll be past the line, we'll be like, oh, it was over there.
Yeah.
We passed it.
Yeah, but you won't know until you're right past it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how we operate, though. We far explore one pendulum, and then eventually you'll swing back.
I mean, it's interesting in the space right now, because you think of like Google as a mighty, mighty business, right? Mm-hmm. But where are they in this race right now? We know they have amazing technology. We know they've been in AI for a very long time. They showcased some of the first examples of AI in real life experience. But where are they now? And it's like, maybe they're not as quick to the punch because they're too big. They have all these regulations. They have all these legal lawsuits. They have where the guy in his garage is just, the rails are off.
Yeah.
He's just pushing the boundary.
Yeah.
And maybe Blockbuster, the Blockbuster of AI, where they can't transition or evolve fast.
So the search space is going to be really interesting. Like, who is going to be the dominator of the search space? Because the future of AutoGPT, hey, I need to book a trip to France, and I want you to find the cheapest ticket, and I need to do it within the next month. Yeah. It's just out there, constantly, looking, does it, books it on Kayak or Expedia, whatever.
Right now.
Yeah, sends you the itinerary. You're not even thinking about this, it's behind the scenes.
Do you give it a budget?
Sure.
You can, yeah.
And you're not Googling it anymore.
Yeah, you're not spending time looking it up
searching
over and over.
So what happens to the search which has been in our existence for so long in such a big way. I mean, there's so many things that are going to be disrupted. It's a new era. It's a new era. This is a revolution.
Yeah. It's like when the internet came out. Before, we used to only go to libraries and check out library books and fucking stamp them and take them home. I used to take like 20 books home, just learning something new. Then the internet came out. Now we don't fucking check out books. You can download PDF books online. It's insane. But look at how much we've advanced since the internet first came out.
Yeah.
And now
I'm waiting
AI.
for there to be like a device that like literally just shoots a screen up in front of us and we just like poke at the air.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet
and
it's already in
navigate.
development.
I'm sure, but like when is it going to be? When are we going to? You know,
Yeah.
when's it going to become a
I
product
want
for
I
the
want
public?
someone to make it easier to interact with my phone, because I'm editing videos on my
Yeah.
phone, and like my hands are like this, or like my neck's like this.
Yeah.
And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like I need like maybe a strap on my neck that puts my phone here so I'm handless, and then
Yeah.
now how do I interact with my phone?
Yeah.
I like it to be down here.
Yeah.
You know, like something
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh,
almost like a
they
projection.
probably will
Fingers,
create
like-
finger keyboards. I think they already, I feel like I've seen something
Or
on
just
that.
so good at voice commands.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
Iron
yeah.
Man, you know?
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Like, go left, cut here, zoom in.
Oh wow. Yeah, that'd be
That's
great.
so true.
Because then it's just the language, whatever language you tie
Yeah.
to the action. It's prompting them to do to
I
edit a
also,
video or.
I mean, this will be an interesting to come back to this in 3 years, but I do think that we're underestimating at which the speed this is all going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we are underestimating because we're kind of oblivious to how fast technology is evolving.
I mean, the fact that there's a auto GPT and 4 and whatever, like I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was like, in my world, it was launched a few months ago.
Yeah, it was.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
It really was. I saw
ChatGPT
it
was
get
in
up.
December, man.
and now
Yeah.
it's building org charts for companies and replacing all the employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have to become obsessed with it now. I don't
Yeah.
like as
I
far
think you
as,
already are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like
you
I'm,
look
I'm
excited
like
and giddy
I'm
about
like
it.
I want to stay in this conversation, but I also want to press stop and go start researching and figuring out how I'm going to leverage this.
Yeah, my suggestion to start would just be playing on ChatGPT and try to get good at prompting.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
have
I'm
a whole
still-
training on that
Yeah.
from that conference. It was really cool as far as teaching you how to speak your brand voice and
Yeah.
and that still withholds the values and company values and whatnot.
Yep.
But there's probably so much more as far as like the engineering part of it, and that's like the part I'm not as excited about, but I need to get excited about.
Well, it's easy. It's just normal texting, you know?
Yeah.
Just the way that you formulate your sentence is prompt engineering.
Yeah.
There's no technical thing really about it. It's just speaking better to the AI.
So it's actually probably going to optimize my
Your
my communication,
Yeah.
which is interesting because I feel like I consider myself a very good communicator and get that feedback, confirmation on that. But the one thing is, when it comes to my communication, is I typically like if I'm putting a piece of communication together to send to an investor or the guys or whatever the case is, I typically write out like everything and then I have to condense it instead of writing
Ask
the
GPT.
most efficient piece of communication first.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, you know, between storytelling and like being so detailed and then like having to cut out some details, like that's not necessary, that's not necessary, that's
Yeah.
not necessary. Where that'll probably help me dial in my communication even
Yeah.
more.
That's what
And-
I do. I'll just chat, like blabber on about
Yeah.
whatever it is that I want to talk about, and then I'll say, okay, condense it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summarize it.
Yeah.
And you can also say this. Here's a prompt. Write this in 5 different writing styles in a table format.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll go table format, persuasive, sales, aggressive, storytelling. And it'll change it in all
Yeah.
different writing styles. And then you can choose the best one that fits for you.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to see
Yeah.
your content in like this once upon a time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's insane.
That's really cool.
I love
That's
it.
wild.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is even maybe final thoughts, but like I guess what you are like most excited about personally.
That was what I was gonna ask.
Okay, sorry. You can
okay.
ask it and edit out my question.
What was your final? Okay.
Do Do you want to ask?
No,
it?
no, no. I don't care.
You know, I think the creativity aspect of it. I am a very creative. I want to be very creative, and I'm so excited to see where my creativity blossoms from here. Like, is it gonna allow me to get back into music? I love playing music. You know, what is that space gonna be like for me? I love creating videos. I think it's fun, that kind of stuff. Like, and now I have Hollywood set of tools.
Yeah.
You know, in my tool bag, and I have a team of 50 scriptwriters that can write jokes or storylines for me.
Jeez, yeah, you
know,
can conduct
I
a
have
whole
I have
entire
a
movie.
whole publishing house. I have a marketing team to put it out to the world, and it's like that kind of stuff makes me really excited. I also am really excited about what happens with this community. Like I said, bringing people together, seeing if we can create something together, and just you know, ride in the wave. Like that whole part just makes me stoked.
That's cool. It makes me excited for her, because she's such a creative as well, and she's so talented and just like creative in so many different art forms and ways of expression. But right now, a lot of her time is consumed by producing it, like and getting editing all the stuff that AI can do. So between that and, you know, finally getting to a place where we can outsource financially be able to outsource stuff. But it seems like there's so many tools that are out there.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love business too. So like streamlining business and becoming more efficient, like lowering the bottom, all that stuff is really exciting too. Like, just become extremely efficient in business.
Yeah.
That's really exciting as well.
It's cool.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, we do have to leave because I have to leave. So you guys can continue chatting if you wanted to. But yes, we will see you next Wednesday on the Danna-Gift Show. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.